Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh to Dr. Ernie binti Adnan. Today, my group and I will be presenting TSLB3633 Task 2, which is Lesson Plan Presentation, which focuses on developing reading and writing skill. But before that, let me introduce my team members. The first one is Izza Safira binti Muhammad Rustin. She will be explaining the pre-lesson and presentation stage. I am Sufiah binti Azmi and I will be covering the practice stage, and Amal Syifa binti Jasni will conclude with the production and post-lesson stage. To help you follow along, we have attached a PDF of our lesson plan in this slide. We also attach our digital materials. These include all the digital materials we will be using throughout the lesson, such as Canva, Anyflip, Padlet, and EducaPlay. The topic that we chose is Year 3 Module 2, Every Day. Our lesson is designed to help pupils read and understand daily routines through interactive and engaging activities. Our main focus skill for this lesson is reading, while the complementary skill is writing. For the learning objective, by the end of the lesson, pupils will be able to first read and identify specific information from a short, simple text about daily routines by answering comprehension questions on Padlet. Second, read and rearrange jumbled sentences to form correct sentences about daily routines in EducaPlay. And third one is describe a character's daily routine using correct sentences with frequency words like always, sometimes, and never. For our success criteria, pupils should be able to read and identify specific information from a short, simple text about daily routines by answering at least 5 comprehension questions correctly on Padlet. The second one is read and rearrange jumbled sentences to form correct sentences about daily routines, achieving at least 4 out of 5 correct answers in EducaPlay. And the last one is describe a character's daily routine using at least 3 correct sentences with frequency words like always, sometimes, and never. With that, I'll now pass it over to Izza to begin with the pre-lesson and presentation stage.
Assalamualaikum and a very good morning to Dr. Ernie. So today, I will explain 2 key parts of our lesson plan, pre-lesson and the presentation, which is the notes. These 2 sections are very crucial in helping Year 3 students learn about daily activities in an engaging and structured way. First, the pre-lesson stage introduces students to daily routine vocabulary using interactive flashcards. These digital flashcards allow students to click on the images to hear the pronunciation and see the meaning of each word. Instead of simply memorizing vocabulary, students can actively engage by interacting with the content, making learning more fun and effective. This approach aligns with several CEFR-aligned teaching principles. First, we apply the learner-centered approach, which shifts the focus from teacher-led instruction to student participation. Traditionally, students might listen to a teacher explain about certain vocabulary, but with interactive flashcards, they can take an active role by clicking, listening, repeating, and even testing themselves. This can keep them engaged and allows them to learn at their own pace, catering to different learning styles. Next, we implement differentiation and scaffolding to support students with varying abilities. In every classroom, students have different learning needs. Some may struggle with reading, while others may grasp vocabulary quickly. The use of visuals, audio, and interactive elements ensures that all students benefit from it. For example, struggling learners can listen to the pronunciation multiple times, while more advanced students can challenge themselves by saying the words before hearing them. This scaffolding approach ensures that no student is left behind. Another key principle is the integrated skills approach, which ensures that learning vocabulary is not just about recognizing words, but also about using them correctly. These digital flashcards encourage both reading and speaking at the same time. For instance, when a student sees the word wake up, they hear the pronunciations and then repeat it. This multisensory learning experience helps students retain vocabulary better than passive learning methods, such as reading from a textbook. The use of these digital interactive flashcards in the pre-lesson has several benefits. So first, it enhances vocabulary retention because students can see, hear, and interact with words, making them more memorable. The second one, it builds students' confidence by allowing them to practice independently and correct themselves without waiting for teachers' feedback. Lastly, it encourages students' autonomy as students can control their own learning pace, making them more responsible for their own progress. Okay, next is the presentation notes. This presentation notes or stage focuses on teaching students simple grammar rules to help them use their newly learned vocabulary correctly. The lesson introduces the present simple tense, specifically the difference between go and goes, and the use of frequency words like always, sometimes, and never to describe daily routines. This section also follows CEFR aligned teaching principles. One of the main strategies used here is task-based language learning, TBLL, which helps students understand grammar rules through real-life application rather than memorizations. Instead of simply stating that we add s to verbs when using he or she, the lesson presents real-life sentences like I go to school at 7 a.m. and she goes to school at 7 a.m. By connecting grammar to meaningful context, students can understand the rules' importance rather than just memorizing it mechanically. Another approach used is communicative language teaching, CLT, which emphasizes active communication. Instead of passively absorbing information, students are encouraged to construct their own sentences and engage in conversation. For example, they might be asked, "What time do you go to school?" or "Does your friends go to school at the same time?" By responding, students naturally practice and reinforce the correct grammar structures. Additionally, assessment for learning AFL is incorporated to help students check their own understanding. After learning a grammar rule, they may be given fill-in-the-blank exercises such as I blank to bed at 9 p.m. By completing this sentence, students can self-assess their understanding. If they make mistakes, they can correct them immediately, reinforcing their learning. This structured approach to grammar instructions has several advantages. First, it presents grammar clearly and step by step, preventing confusion. Instead of overwhelming students with too many rules at once, the lesson introduces concepts gradually, supported by examples and also visual aids. And the second one, it also supports progressive learning, starting with vocabulary acquisition before moving on to sentence construction. This ensures that students can fully understand each concept before progressing further. Finally, it encourages real-life application as the grammar structures students learn are directly linked to their everyday routines. When students see the connection between classroom learning and real-world usage, they are more likely to remember and apply the knowledge effectively. In summary, this lesson is designed to be interactive, structured, and engaging, following CEFR-aligned teaching principles. The pre-lesson introduces vocabulary through interactive flashcards, allowing students to actively participate in their learning. The presentation, which is the notes, can guide them in applying grammar correctly, ensuring that they can use their new vocabulary in meaningful sentences. Okay, so that's all from me. Thank you for listening. Next, I will pass to my next group members to explain further.
Next, I will explain the practice stage of the lesson plan. So this stage plays a crucial role in helping students internalize and apply their reading and writing skills after the presentation stage. In this phase, students move from passive understanding to active use of the language. So they engage in interactive activities that reinforce vocabulary, grammar, and comprehension skills. Digital tools like Canva, Anyflip, Padlet, and EducaPlay are integrated to create a student-centered and engaging learning experience. The practice stage aligns with key CEFR-aligned pedagogical principles, which include the first one, scaffolded learning, whereby activities progress from simple to more complex tasks. Second, task-based learning, or TBL, whereby students participate in meaningful tasks that promotes language use. The third one is integration of digital and multimodal learning, whereby it will enhance engagement by using various digital tools and media to cater different learning styles. And the last one is assessment for learning, or AFL, which provides immediate feedback to guide students' improvement. Now, let's go through each activity in detail. For the first activity in practice stage is a multiple choice quiz using Canva, where students need to select the correct answers related to daily routines by just simply clicking to the answer given. So this simple practice is designed to access students' understanding of the simple present tense. So how does this align with CEFR principles? The first one is it is scaffolded learning, whereby this serves as an introductory practice, allowing pupils to build confidence before moving on to more complex reading and writing tasks. The second one is assessment for learning, or AFL, whereby pupils receive immediate feedback when they answer, which will help both pupils and teacher in monitoring their progress. So for example, if students click to the right answer, it will appear saying good job or congratulations, while if students click to the wrong answer, they need to answer the question again until they get the right answer. The third one is integration of digital and multimodal learning. So the use of Canva makes learning more interactive and visually engaging, which can cater different learning styles. So this activity supports A2 learners by focusing on simple sentence comprehension and helps pupils develop accuracy in understanding daily routine vocabulary. The second activity is reading and writing comprehension, where pupils need to read aloud a digital storybook on Anyflip titled Adam's Day, and then answer comprehensions and HOTS, or high order thinking skills questions, on Padlet. Additionally, they complete a read and sort activity by categorizing sentences under frequency words like always, sometimes, and never. Next is how does this align with CEFR principle? The first one is communicative language teaching, or CLT. Pupils engage in meaningful discussions on Padlet. This approach encourages authentic language use, allowing pupils to express ideas, interact with peers, and develop their writing skills in a real-world context. Through this activity, they practice structuring sentences using appropriate vocabulary and conveying message effectively. The second one is task-based learning. Instead of passively reading, pupils can actively apply their comprehension skills by integrating writing skills. The third one is scaffolded learning. After the simple multiple choice task from Canva, this activity requires deeper thinking, which guides students to analyze and answer to questions accurately. The last one is differentiated learning. So this activity supports different proficiency levels, whereby for the first section, all students need to answer a direct comprehension question for foundational understanding, while the second section is more for intermediate and high-level students, whereby the question is about high-order thinking skill questions, which encourage them to promote critical thinking. This activity helps in developing reading comprehension strategies, enhances writing skills through short structured responses, and encourages higher order thinking skills by analyzing and responding to hot questions. For the last activity in practice stage, students need to use EducaPlay to rearrange jumbled sentences about daily routines by clicking the words to arrange in a correct order. It is a task-based learning because it requires students to reconstruct grammatically correct sentences. It also promotes scaffolded learning, whereby it follows comprehension activities, reinforcing sentence structure and coherence. And last one is assessment for learning. It helps teachers to identify common grammar mistakes by analyzing pupils' progress, and teacher can also assess which students successfully complete the activity and which one struggles or gets stuck midway, allowing targeted support and feedback. This practice is a good activity for Year 3 since it reinforces grammar and sentence structure related to daily activities. It also provides a fun and engaging way to practice word order and acts as a bridge between reading comprehensions and structured writing. That's all from me for practice stage. Next, I pass it to Syifa to explain the production stage.
Assalamualaikum and good morning to Dr. Ernie. My name is Syifa and today I will be explaining the production and post-lesson stage from what we have decided to plan a lesson plan on a daily routines, everyday topic. Okay, this focusing on how this align with CEFR aligned pedagogical principles. Okay, and how we ensure pupils develop their English skills in a meaningful and engaging way. Let's go to the production stage. I will overview about the activity. Okay, in this stage, pupils will collaborate in small groups that teacher have divided for them to create a comic strip about characters' daily routine using Padlet that have provided in the practice before. Okay, they will write 4 to 5 sentences using the present simple tense and frequency words such as always, sometimes, and never. Okay, to make it more engaging, they will add image, drawing, or emoji to visually represent their sentence. Okay, if they are involved the activity cycling, they will add the emoji bicycle or etc. And this activity integrates reading and writing, and also have a peer interaction to make it more to enhance their communication skills. Okay, now for the production focus, communicative and collaborative language use, pupils use reading skills and writing skills to create meaningful content. and emphasize real-life language used by applying frequency words in daily routine. And then for the third one, encourage peer collaboration and interaction through group and work feedback. For this, integrate both reading and writing skills and to ensure that pupils not only write but also read their peers' work. And also, this production stage, pupils collaborate in the pairs or small groups to foster interaction and teamwork. For the CEFR descriptor, can work together with partner to complete a simple task, such as they will list 4 to 5 daily routine activities, ensuring the use of frequency words like always, sometimes, and never, and also to activate prior knowledge and also allow pupils to use familiar vocabulary in context, can describe daily activities using simple phrases. Okay, for this stage, it include what I have mentioned before. It include brainstorming and CFR learning aligned scaffolded learning. Okay, to support pupils in completing this task, I begin with brainstorming, which is each group will have to choose a character, and it should be anything, or maybe a student, a teacher, or an athlete that have a daily routine. Then they have to list 4 to 5 routine activity that their character does using the frequency word that they have learned. This step is an example of scaffolded learning, as pupil given structured guidance through a model example and sentence starters like he always, a sentence structure that provided in the Padlet to help them to form a sentence correctly. Okay, while they are working in groups, pupils can support one another, gradually build confidence and constructing their own sentences with the peer support. Okay, now construct sentences and create comic strip. Okay, I will go to the conclusion about the CEFR align but principle. Okay, this relatable topic, pupils create a comic strip based on familiar daily routines. For example, waking up to school and brush their teeth. Okay, now personalized tasks, which are they choose their own character and create a unique routine for their comic strip. Okay, and for the third one, multimodal learning. By this, people use words and visual, and also drawings give emojis to make learning more engaging and fun. And it also included interactive and fun because the task encourages creativity and making language learning less mechanical and more meaningful. Okay, as for the next principle, which are assessment for learning, AFL. Okay, this one include peers comment on each group's Padlet post, giving feedback on content and the accuracy of the content. And the teacher observes the group work and provides real-time guidance. Okay, for this CFR principle, pupils review their own work before posting and check it if they use frequency words correctly. Okay, pupils comment on the comic strip, at least 2 or another comic strip, identifying strong point and suggesting improvement. Okay, and we go for the third CFR aligned pedagogical principle, which is scaffolded learning. Okay, for these sentences, frame and example, pupils are given sentence structures, example, he always, she never, to guide their writing. Model answer on Padlet, a sample comic strip is provided to help pupils visualize expectation. And then, why is it called scaffolding learning? Because it's step-by-step guidance by teacher. Pupils brainstorm daily routines first, then write sentences, then add visual by the guidance from teachers. Okay, how this help pupils? Pupils will improve their work in real time rather than just receiving a final grade, enhances engagement and retention. This will help pupils to apply naturally by pupils gain confidence, developing their independent writing skills. Okay, now for the post lesson. For the post lesson, the teacher used a spin wheel, digital or physical, randomly selected the name from the pupil with different reflective prompts, which are: first, what is one new word you learned today? And then the second one, give an example of using a sentence always or sometimes or what else, and also what was the most fun part of the lesson. Okay, this one, and the last one, how can you improve your sentences in the future? And also this pupil will take turn answering to reinforce their learning through spoken interaction. Okay, for CEFR pedagogical principle, it encourages learners to communicate meaningfully and engage actively in the lesson in the class. Doing this will help teacher to achieve their learning objective in the lesson plan. Okay, for the teacher's summary and praise from the post lesson, it was a positive learning environment and scaffolding. Why? Because the teacher summarized key point of the lesson, like daily routines, vocabulary, frequency words usage, and also give the sentence structure, simple present tense. Okay, the teacher praises pupils' effort by reinforcing positive learning behavior, and by this, CAFR pedagogical principle like to create a supportive environment for the classroom, and this while learners feel motivated to participate. Lastly, for CAFR aligned pedagogical principle, for the first post lesson is reflective learning. Okay, this includes self-assessment on Google Form, that pupils will reflect on their confidence in using frequency word and identify areas for improvement. Okay, and next one is pupils answer question about what they learned. For example, what was easy? What was challenging? Okay, for this part, people will ask what was challenging, and then they will revisit their Padlet by comic strip and read feedback from their classmates, and this can improve their writing skills. Okay, and for the last part is learner-centered approach. Okay, for the learner-centered approach, this pupil rate their confidence by using frequency words, and they will set personal learning goals. Okay, by this, the question will be include like how confident are you using in using always, sometimes, and never. Okay, then what part of today's lesson was the easiest? They will rate each of the question, and then the last question, what was the hardest part that you have learned that you know that was the challenging part for you? Okay, why encourage self-awareness and helps people take responsibility for their progress? And that's how CAFR aligned pedagogical principle that linked with this post-lesson and also production. And to conclude, all of this was to enhance writing and reading skills for the students. And that's all from us, Syifa, Izza and Sufiah. Thank you.